the presentation and interview with Jennifer Cronkhite, Marketing Director of Experience Jackson. The title of our session today is Everybody Always Tells Me Everything. Jennifer, what do those words mean to you? Everybody always tells me everything.
I don't know about you, Rod, but I think everybody always tells me anything is one of the biggest jokes that there is in our community, because nobody ever tells me everything. Nobody ever tells me anything, it seems like, is the words that a lot of our travel partners always tell us, because they always seem to be in the dark about something and wish they would have had a little bit of more information or what have you. So I think it's a big joke.
So you have developed something called NETMA. What is NETMA, the acronym?
So Experience Jackson, which is the tourism office in Jackson County, has developed a group called NETMA, like you say, and NETMA stands for Nobody Ever Tells Me Anything, so NETMA. And it's a monthly group of stakeholders in the tourism industry who get together to talk about different event tactics and best practices. So this month, for example, we're going to talk about event permits. So if you have an event and you think you might want to have liquor at it, or you're not sure if you can really have that wine or beer tent, we're actually going to have a panel of speakers that are going to come in, and one of those is from the Liquor Commission, and then the Charitable Gaming Commission, and also the Jackson DDA to talk about different types of permits that you need to be aware of that could happen. So it's sort of a support group, if you will, for event organizers. But really, we want event organizers and then anybody in our community who depends on events in the tourism industry to come in and be part of that conversation.
Which is part of the measurable outcomes, is bringing in the various decision makers, and then by doing that, they learn about the other events, and there's partnerships that are developed?
Yes.
Is that the outcome?
Yes. So a lot of our desirable outcomes are the collaborations, like you're talking about. So oftentimes we find that there are 3 or 4 different events that are on the same weekend. And unfortunately, most events have the same sort of planning prep time period. So at about 3 or 4 months out, they go public with all their information, and then everybody throws their hands up and says, "What? Nobody ever told me that. I never knew that was going to happen.
Nobody ever tells me anything."
Nobody ever tells me anything, exactly. So what we're trying to do is start that conversation 8, 9 months out, when the event organizers are planning that event for the same weekend, so that they can figure out if there's any sort of synergistic collaboration that they can happen for them, and figure out how to work together, because that's a good thing, really.
Since you have your finger on the pulse of the community, what is coming up in the next weekend that is really exciting, and what's coming up this season, maybe to close our segment this morning?
Yeah, that's a great question. So this weekend specifically, there are a lot of farm festivals that seems to be going on because of the pumpkin harvest that's been in. So a lot of the local wineries are doing specific harvest-styled events this weekend. And then also there are the Indian Brook Farms, and then I believe Meckley, it's just a little bit south of Jackson. They're doing different farm festivals this weekend. And in the next season or so, I think the really big thing that's going to come into our community is the 5K run walk through the nightlights, which is on the eve of Thanksgiving. And the nightlights, if you've never been there, is the mile or so long Christmas light display that's at the Jackson County Fairgrounds, and it runs Thanksgiving through Christmas. So the day before Thanksgiving, before it opens, there's actually a run that takes place, and you can run or walk if you want through those lights, and it's the only time that you can disembark from your vehicle and go through. So I think that's going to be a really, really big hit.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For our viewers, if you live in Jackson County, I would recommend you going to Hanley Sanctuary. I know that you've promoted Hanley. And Hanley, this particular week, there are hundreds, even thousands of sandhill cranes that are gathering, preparing for their migration south to Tennessee and Kentucky. And it's perfect conditions this year, and right around dusk of each day, you can see hundreds of sandhill cranes flying in for their roosting each evening. You don't see that in many parts of Michigan. It's special. It's here in Jackson County at Hanley Sanctuary.